Everybody, welcome again to eChannel News. We've got Jason Price, of course, from Kaseya. We recently met down in Houston at our event for cybersecurity defense ecosystem, and we're going to do a little bit more. We're going to expand the message and reach out to everybody. So, because it was a great message that he talked about, and we'll build on that, and I'll add a few more things to it too. Jason, first of all, man, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm great. Yeah. Can't complain of yourself.
Good stuff, man. Love the t-shirt. Protect yourself. It's all the way it is before the wreck. Love it. All right. So, Jason, let's first of all talk about the highlights that you had at the beginning of the show, which is around, pen testing. Give me the 10 mile high overview of like what that's about, because I know you've got a solution to offer MSPs today.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the acquisitions that we made a little bit over a year ago was this company called Vanahai. Vanahai provides automated pen testing with their V Pen Test product. And since we've acquired them, it's been just growing like gangbusters. And I think it's a result of several different things that we're seeing in the marketplace. We're seeing, more conversations around compliance and regulation, and we're seeing things in terms of cybersecurity insurance and making sure people have the ability to be able to get policies. And so more pen testing are being needed by more but by more people. And so this alleviate some of the pain points that many of our MSC partners have had in terms of being able to offer this sort of solution. So typically, one of a couple of things are true, right? You have to get the right staff, right, to be able to execute pen tests, and that
Good
can be
luck.
costly, right? They're in demand, so keeping that talent, in house can be more difficult. Or you're partnering with, another entity that does pen testing, and at that point it gets something where you can make money, but you're giving a lot of the money that you can be making to that entity. And so with this solution, it is a third party that is executing this pen test for you. It's done in a way where you get like a full report, so you can see all of the information that is going to be pertinent, all the information that would be required by these different entities. Once again, cybersecurity insurance companies, state regulators, compliance, all of that. It fits the bill. And it's something that is extremely affordable and extremely scalable as well. So it's something where I've seen, a lot of our partners do extremely well. I've seen very strategic ways to get the message out, and just really seeing people just really reaping the benefits, and not only
Mm.
getting those one time pen tests, but they're having recurring pen test contracts going out. We're also seeing people displacing, customers who currently have an MSP because their MSP, has never brought this to the table as something that they need to have, right? And I get it. It's scary as an MSP wanting to pen test your own clients, right?
Yikes.
That can be very scary. But if you're not doing it, if you're not getting better, there's somebody else out there that is willing to do it and willing to expose those holes, and therefore have the opportunity to take that client that was once yours.
Well, Jason, you and I both know the bad actors are pen testing your systems every day. So, so you better do it before they
Or they
figure
do
out
it.
the weak spots, right?
Absolutely.
Another cool thing that I heard in your presentation was that not a lot of MSPs are doing this. Like the
Mhm,
vast majority, like 80 something
mhm,
percent, I believe, is not even offering this service, which to me it's like, crazy.
mhm.
What's that numbers like?
Well, I would say, a couple years ago, when vulnerability scans started to really to come into play, and I think we're seeing the same sort of adoption rate, right? 5 years ago, I think it was at like 13% to 20% were offering vulnerability tests or scans, and now it's up to like 90, right? So most MSPs have some sort of scan, right? That is not a true penetration test or anything of that nature,
Yeah.
but it's scanning is good. I would say typically more so for prospecting, getting your foot in the door, exposing some stuff that can be seen on the top layer. But I see that we're in, the infancy of the pen testing being widely adopted. But I guarantee when we look at this 3 years from now, I
Mm,
guarantee at least 70% to eighty
mm,
percent of all MSPs will be offering this. And those
mm,
who aren't, they're really missing out on like a prime moment, right? A
mm,
prime moment where it's not yet quite a commodity, right? It's still something where from a pricing standpoint, you can still do extremely well. And you're able to really maximize over the next couple of years, right?
mm,
Before it becomes something that is, that anybody can do and it's very cheap and it's not necessarily, very profitable unless you're able to really, really scale it out.
mm.
I think you're at like the best place, in history right now to really get on board and do these sorts of pen test activities.
For sure. Blue ocean time, man. It's you got to jump in the train when it's speeding up or getting out of the, the station, not when it's barreling down the road, right? It's harder to to catch on. You know,
Exactly.
at the end of the day, pen testing as it stands alone is a very expensive venture.
Mhm,
People can pay tens of thousands of dollars for pen testings with humans doing it.
mhm,
And the reality is that it's a moving target, right?
mhm,
Pen testing once a year is not cool. It's okay. Maybe you
mhm,
get a checkbox and whatever, but really and truly, pen testing is something that adapts constantly. And one of the cool things about the platform that I know about, and I interviewed the owner, the founder of the solution earlier, is that they've developed a solution to kind of learn and improve and evolve. And pen testing as a service, that's what is required to make
mhm,
that a reality. So you're testing on a regular basis. Um, and while it's cool for insurance and compliance and all these other reasons,
mhm.
the real reason for a pen test is to make sure you figure out where your weak spots are uh,
Absolutely.
before the bad actors, right, figure it out. And then that's, a bit of a problem. So pen testing, you're right, man. It's here to stay. Get on the train faster. Anything else you want to mention about the solution?
Um, I think that, it's just worth, having a conversation, worth seeing a demo of it. Um,
Mm,
one of the things that we do is we want to make sure that you fully understand the full scope of what it's capable of doing. And so, if you sit for a demo of the solution, we will give you like an unlimited IP one-time test that you can use, right? So go into your own networks, right? It's
yes.
scary, I know, right? And do it, right? And you will see the full comprehensive report. You'll have a good understanding of any sort of holes, any things that you need to really hone in on and get right. Because at the end of the day, as an MSP, right, you need to make sure that your home is secure first. You
Mm,
need to make sure that your doors are locked, the alarms are set, the shutters are closed, before you can go out and really take care of your clients, right? It starts with you. And so, that I think is a brilliant thing that we're doing to make sure that yes, you're making sure that your house is in order and you're able to really understand the
mm,
power of this reporting that you're getting from doing this penetration test with us.
mm. I'll just add one more last thing, and that is, a lot of MSPs out there, they want to, brand everything with their own logos and everything else, which is
Mhm.
cool for certain things. But I think this is one of those things where you don't want to,
Ah,
um, because third party, credibility is really what a pen test is about. It's like, yeah, I can tell you that my network is good, which
mhm,
is cool. My security is good, but it's really great to have an outside organization do the
mhm.
test and put a stamp on it, right? I think
Absolutely.
it lends a lot more credibility. So, you know, for me, it's a no-brainer. Get on the train now, because it is going to speed up. And I disagree with you on one thing. It's going to speed up a lot faster
Yeah.
than we imagined, because I think now we understand why this is important
Mhm.
for your whole survivability as an MSP. Um, your structural, business, your infrastructure, your customers, everything else depends on how good your protection is. Right.
Absolutely.
And this is a great sort of report card you could get on yourself, on your clients regularly, and make money. So there you go. So let's zoom out a little bit to the Kaseya bigger picture.
Mhm,
I know pretty soon you guys have this big announcement coming up and so
mhm,
on, and everybody's sort of guessing what it is. It's really cool marketing to kind of
mhm,
build up the suspense type of thing. But I think we kind of understand where it's headed. But the reality is that Kaseya does a lot of things, man. Right?
mhm,
And what you guys are trying to do is help these MSPs to sort of I don't know, streamline their business,
mhm,
right? And do more better with less type thing, right? What's
mhm.
your take on all the different moving parts that Kaseya has, and what's you guys are trying to do to kind of help these MSPs to future proof their business?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times if you see us out and about at different shows, events, though we are we are Kaseya, we really talk about IT complete, right? And
Mm,
it gets confusing to some people, right? But IT complete is the platform, right? It's a platform where all of the different, 43 or 44 different Kaseya solutions live upon. And because they're all on the same platform, you get some great benefits, right? So one is you get great integrations, right? And these are true deep integrations and not just API based integrations. We all know that API integrations are good until something changes on with one of the products, right? And all of a sudden the API integration is broken, and all of a sudden you're out of utilizing this product for a couple months because of that failure. So with us, you don't get that, right? They're deep. They're actually sharing the same code. They just work together extremely well. So if I'm using my PSA can leverage my RMM, and it can leverage my documentation, and all of these things happening and working together is going to create efficiencies, right? So instead of having 10 different dashboards that I'm logging into, and this multi-authentication for this and this for that, and it's becoming cumbersome and taking time. All of it just works together without having to do all of that. And because it's able to do that, it becomes complete, and it becomes something where you actually spend less money overall, right? It becomes more of an affordable solution. Um, by being affordable, or to get into the affordability, one of the things that we've really been pushing is what's called our profit fuel exercise.
mhm,
What profit fuel is, it's a value maximization exercise, and it's something where we take a look at you as an MSP, and we look at all the different solutions you have, from Kaseya, from some the other competitors out there, and we just take an honest look, right? All right, you're using this with us, you're using this with them, you know, how are you utilizing this with them over there? What are you actually using it? Did you buy a Ferrari and you're really only going 50 miles per hour? Did you need to get the Ferrari? Right. And we wanted just to see, okay, what is truly effective, what truly impacts your business, what is truly going to make your life simpler and more complete. And we're able to t- say, you know what? We think that you can, get all these solutions with us at Kaseya. And by doing so, you're going to be saving this amount of money. You're going to be gaining this amount of efficiency, right? And at the end of the year, you should see your profits jump by this amount. And
mm,
I think we've done over about 230 different
mm,
fuel exercises that actually, were went through when people actually adopted the changes.
mm.
And we've seen incredible numbers, incredible growth within these partners. So I would say that that is an exercise that anybody is able to do.
Mhm,
It is something that does take a little bit of work.
mm,
It's not something where we have a quick hour meeting, and all of a sudden you're saving 20% off of your kit expenses.
mm,
It's something where you have to put in work, right? And so typically what we're seeing is about 4 to 6 hours worth of work on your end, right? Because you have to gather all this information. You have to know your license counts. You have to know your contract end dates. You have to know all this information for us to be able to help you to make a good decision, which is going to benefit your business. So it's a process. We've pretty much fine tuned it to work extremely well, and I think it's something that everybody should take advantage of.
Jason, as an MSP business owner, right, you would imagine, right, that at some point they have a meeting with everybody and go, hey, well, wait a minute, man, we're using all these things to do
Mhm,
all this different stuff,
mhm,
right? Do we have the right things? Are we doing the right stuff? Like,
mhm,
how much time are we spending on the
mhm,
stuff, and who's burning out and who's tired, who's exhausted,
mhm,
what's going on, and how do we kind of like, can we make a better thing, right?
mhm,
And I think the reality is that, you know what, we can figure out something that makes sense, and
mhm,
they could do this exercise. I mean, theoretically, they can do this exercise themselves if they pull all the pieces from all the vendors. It's
mhm,
really, really cool that a vendor who understands the
mhm,
DNA level of these things to kind of say, wait a minute, let's help you guys figure it out. Because at the end of the day, if we can make you more efficient,
mhm,
if we can help you save time
mhm,
and save money, I mean, the byproduct of that, the outcome is obvious,
mhm.
right? Um, and yeah, I mean, there is a selfish benefit, right? You do get to
Absolutely,
sell more of your stuff, right? But that's the whole
absolutely.
point, right?
Mhm,
It's like we're building these things, we're buying these solutions, we're pulling them all together because it's going to save you time, money, and do the job better. So it's really, really cool that do you charge
no,
MSPs for this?
this is something that is free. It's something that we
Really?
do not charge. It's something whether you have one product or a bunch of products with Kaseya, we will do this exercise with you. And one thing that I didn't point out is that when I say value maximization exercise, one of the big things that's happening in this community right now is people are making the decision right now: is this the perfect time to sell my MSP?
Yeah.
Right? Is this my time for my exit? Right? And so what better time than to kind of take a look at one of your biggest expenses other than your labor and seeing how you can streamline that, right, to make you be able to hit a higher multiplier if
Mm.
you decide to sell, right? So yes, we want it for to we see the benefit of those who are in the fight daily, and they're MSPs and they have no plans to sell, but also those who are thinking or
Mm.
and want to have a better plan for their exit.
Yeah.
uh,
Valuation.
yeah, this definitely helps with that evaluation, and therefore
Yeah.
hopefully get more money in your pockets in that method as well.
Look, from an investor perspective, what are we looking for, right? You're looking for, is this company run efficiently,
Hmm.
right? Are you maximizing your gross profit, right?
Hmm.
Are you able to rinse and repeat, the process?
Hmm.
Can you do it at scale? Can you scale, right? And all that stuff requires automation. I mean, it's sort of the obvious thing in the room, but
Hmm.
you know what? For me, there's another big reason. I don't want to say bigger reason, but it's really about the mental health of your staff, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if you and I are working for a company, right, and we got to jump through a whole bunch of guacamole routes, hoops, right, to get the job done, and I got to learn this platform, and I want to go on vacation, but wait a minute, you know what? Nobody knows this than I do, so I gotta. There's a lot of human elements, right, in streamlining the operation so everybody is working on the same, set of rules and
Yes.
infrastructure,
Yeah.
because burnout's a real thing.
Hmm.
Um, I think you'll probably agree that MSPs they're tasked with a lot, man. And
Yeah.
anything that's going to do to save them an extra time, hours per day, they could actually do something, I don't know, fun,
Yeah.
family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Less noise is a beautiful thing. Less processes to have to execute on a daily basis is a beautiful thing. Being able to come into your organization, log into one platform. Once again, it's IT complete, but the platform is Kaseya One, right? You have one
Mm.
login. You can see all of your bills in one area for all your different solutions. You can see all the different tickets. You see exactly who your account manager is. You see how who your account manager's manager is. You have everything you need in just one single place. Um, all notifications are in one single place. You're not dealing with the personalities of 13 different account managers from 13 different products, and y- this eliminates a lot of the noise, a lot of the chaos. And as you mentioned, it gives you more time. It gives your employees more time. It gives them less burnout. And I think that, that's a valid and very, very, very accurate point.
Yeah, sometimes it's all about humans, man. You know, I just want to say this to a lot of MSPs out there. You can always find a problem with every platform. You know, it's a work in progress. If it
Mhm.
was perfect, it would be great. But it's complicated work.
Mhm.
If it was easy, we'd have 1,000 platforms out there,
Mhm.
right? The reality is it's a lot of complicated work. It's a moving target. These things are adjusting in real time. Functionalities are being baked in. There's a lot of things going on.
Mhm.
And while you can always find fault with something within any platform, the answer is overall, is it moving in the right direction? Right? B, is it able to do something for you today? Right? And sometimes we're always looking at the future,
Mhm.
in the future, if I own my own island, that'd
Mhm.
be really great. But
Mhm.
you got to build towards something, and
Absolutely.
um, and I think that that thing you guys do, to be able to help
Mhm.
these MSPs to kind of understand all
Mhm.
the moving parts and how they come together and what makes sense. I think is really really cool. I assumed you charged for that as a
No,
business consultant, but hey, kudos to you guys.
yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to add, I always tell people like, hey, when you're driving down the road, you need to look a quarter mile down the road. Yes, you need to, right, to be able to plan and adjust, and if you need to get out of the lane or whatever, but you also still need to look right in the front of the hood,
Yeah.
right? So, yes, there's things down there that we need to think about, but there's things right here today that we need to work on and make sure that we're seeing and have full visibility on as well.
Absolutely. I mean, look, MSPs are, they should, obviously they understand it. And the last thing I'll mention is that we used to think we need to have all these tools,
Mhm.
right? And we need to have more, like in cybersecurity. Wouldn't it be great if we had 100 different layers of technology stack? I mean, the thicker the
Mhm.
layer, well, the more difficult it is for the bad actors to get in.
Mhm.
Sounded good, right? But then you have to ask yourself a question: Can I afford it? And B, do I have the humans to
Mhm.
monitor that stuff, right? So if you're a bank, government, some sophisticated enterprise with tons of money, yeah,
Mhm.
knock
Mhm.
yourself out, right? But if you're an SMB and you got a limited budget and limited resources,
Mhm.
you do got to pick and choose, and less is more. Better
Mhm.
integrated is better, right? And simplicity, with good complexities as well, right? It's not just simple is good, but it's got to do the job. Is really where the trend in the future is, and I think that's sort of what you guys are trying to bring to the table. I hope I'm right.
You're absolutely right. That is the resounding message that we want the people to see and hear.
Mm.
Uh, exactly what you said. Absolutely.
I'll leave you with the last word, Jason. What else do you that we didn't mention that we should mention to the community out there so they can understand what you guys are offering them?
Um, I'm gonna plug. I think we may actually be sold out of tickets. But we are having our Connect Global event in 2 weeks out in
Yep.
Las Vegas. We have a huge announcement that we've been teasing for quite a while, and I think that it's going to be one of those announcements that will be game changing. It's something that is going to benefit this space that we're in tremendously. And I just like I'm so proud that to be a part of this organization to really be able to bring it and provide what we're going to be talking about. So I can't wait to for it to be released, but I can't wait for you guys to come back to me and validate whether my feelings about this is truly is accurate and for good reason. I think you guys will. Um, you know, go to these different events, right? Whether it be our Connect event or the event that we do with you guys. You learn so much, and don't. I'm about to say don't tell anybody, but I was taking so much notes during your event that I can use, for myself because it's just a wealth of information. And if you're not going to these events, if you're not, being in the room with people who may be smarter than you or have a different expertise than you, then you're really limiting yourself. So, definitely, if time permits, make sure you're coming out to these events, man. They're just awesome.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And yes, the tickets are sold out
Yeah.
for your event.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that it's, you'll learn about the announcement there, but the announcement just, is forever, right?
Yes.
We'll learn about it, the minute after it happens, we'll, bring the news to everybody. So we'll all know when we know. And
Mhm.
it doesn't really matter when you know, really.
Exactly.
It's a matter of what you do after you know. Is critical, right? So
Absolutely.
there's lots of opportunities. The exciting part of this is that, Kaseya being a leader within the space, right? We're trying to help this channel community to become bigger, better, stronger, and smarter, right? Because I think we all know that the front lines of this world between tech, bad actors, and the community of it, the economy, and all these companies, the frontline folks, the army, is those MSPs, right? Are those
Yeah.
MSPs? And what you guys are doing is giving them the weapons, the tools, the knowledge, the skills, right? So they can
Mhm.
go out there and battle and put a good fight, right? So
Absolutely.
and it's really great because this channel is about 40 years old. It's not that old,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And guess what? It's holding its own. It's
Mhm.
proving to be the thing. Still,
Right.
two-thirds of all the business is going through the channel, and probably more as we continue to move forward. And the industry needs to mature. It needs the tools. It needs the infrastructure. It
Mhm.
needs to get these things to help it to do better.
Mhm.
And I think Kaseya is one of those companies that's leading this charge. So kudos to you guys,
Thank
and keep up the great work. And we'll all learn together. We'll all improve together. And the channel is big, but it's still small. And
Absolutely.
we're going to help each other to make it better.
All right.
Jason's always a pleasure. And by the way, how is the best way for them to reach you? LinkedIn, obviously, Jason Price.
Yeah, LinkedIn, Jason Price, or you can shoot me an email. That's J Price, that's PRYCE at dowdo.com. Yeah, I'd love to if you guys reach out, if you have any questions, concerns, want to learn more, do a demo. Please reach out to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the Kaseya team is awesome. So reach out to these folks. And, I just want to say one other thing. I'm a very unbiased,
Hmm.
neutral type human. I don't really care who wins the race. I don't have a
Hmm.
horse in the race. But the one thing I can tell you about the Kaseya folks is the humans, the people that's there. There's a lot of great people like Jason and so on who works there. I met some new person, Devine. Um, and I always wonder, like, how are you guys hiring these people
Hmm.
that actually resonates
Hmm.
as people? They're not robotic, right? They're doing some great stuff, and I just get a feeling that you guys are real. You're really
Hmm.
trying to help people first, and sometimes you're funny. You know, we'll leave it there, my friend. Jason, we'll see you in the circuit. Keep up the great work. And whenever you get the news, give us a buzz. Tell us what's going on. All right.
Will
Good
do.
luck.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
So